AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
Happy holidays! Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a happy holiday.
Looking for these better days.
It is Football Friday, December 12th. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. An epic collapse by the Bucs or a great comeback by the Atlanta Falcons? We'll let you decide. Falcons kick off Week 15 with a 29-28 win on Thursday Night Football over the Tampa Bay Bucs. We'll break that game down, and we'll get to all of the games coming up here for Week 15 Sunday. Mackenzie Rivers joins me on this episode of Better Day, presented by FanDuel. And Mac, you could have gotten the Falcons as much as 20-1 on the live line once they were down 14 there in the fourth quarter. Wow. Of course, a lot of people had the debate over going for 2 down 14, which, look, yes, it didn't work out for the Atlanta Falcons, okay?
It kind of did.
Well,
one by one, but yeah, I heard you.
Sure. But
that play didn't work out.
Yes, they missed both 2-point conversions, okay? But the debate's over. Like, everybody knows you go for 2 down 14. And I saw so many people online last night that were like, this is why you don't go for 2 down 14. Like, you don't go for 2 because, you 2 extra points, you would have tied the game. But the goal's not to tie the game because even though it didn't work out for them, right? Let's imagine if it did and they let's imagine if all they did was kick the extra points and it was a tie game. Well, guess what? They were in the exact same scenario that they were in at the end of the game. Because if it was tied, well, the Bucs had the possession, they would have moved down the field, and they would have had the ball they would have had the ball last and kicked the game-winning field goal. But instead, you were trailing. Bucs, where you got the football back, and then you were in the position to kick the game-winning field goal. If you make the 2-point conversions, well, then you're in the power position because you have the lead, and you're forcing the Bucs to go and try and win the game. So, look, the debate's over. It didn't work out for them, but everyone knows, right, Mac? You go for 2 down 14 now.
Yeah, and it's 2-point conversion singular. You only need one. So if they would have gotten the first one, they would have had the opportunity to kick a field goal. And if you miss one, you have an opportunity to come back. It's universal at this point. And that's why it used to be like half the coaches do it. Now every coach does it.
Yeah. So like I said, it didn't work out last night for them as far as those 2 touchdowns are concerned, but it did work out because they got the football back and were able to drive down the field and kick the game-winning field goal. Now, why were they able to do that? Because the Tampa Bay Bucs are morons. And I say that in the nicest way possible. I tweeted out last night, and you guys can always follow me on Twitter at Scott's On Air, that for everybody arguing about the decision by the Falcons to go for 2 on the first touchdown, why aren't enough people arguing about what the Bucs did on their final possession? Because the Falcons used all 3 of their timeouts prior to the 2-minute warning. The Falcons had the football on second down. Yeah, it was second and long, right? It was second and 14. Mm-hmm. But there was 2 minutes and 24 seconds left on the clock. The Falcons used their third timeout. It's simple. I understand the first down ends the game, but the clock is on your side. Run the football. You milk the clock down to the 2-minute warning. Now it's third down. Let's say you get tackled for a 2-yard loss. Who cares? It's 3rd and 16. Guess what you do again? You run the damn ball again. And then you milk 40 more seconds off the clock, and by the time you punt the football away to the Atlanta Falcons, they get the ball with about a minute remaining left in the game. Instead, when the Bucs attempted the pass and it was incomplete, they stopped the clock. Then Baker gets sacked, and then they kick the ball off, and the Falcons get the punt with a minute 49 left in the game.
And I know people are going to say, nowadays it doesn't matter. These quarterbacks, I think it does much more than we're letting on as far as a minute 49 versus 49 seconds remaining. Because after a minute of that Falcons drive with Kirk Cousins, it was 4th and 14 at their own 43. So to say to do it in 49 seconds to get a field goal, especially for Kirk Cousins, some of these quarterbacks without the strongest arms, I think it would have been very difficult.
It changes the whole complexion of that final drive, and I thought that was the more egregious mistake by the Tampa Bay Bucks was, not running the ball and milking the clock there in that spot. Now, selfishly, I would have loved if Baker Mayfield completed the pass because we gave out a live play at the 2-minute warning of the first half to Better Day Premium members. Our live play was Baker Mayfield to go over 19.5 completions, which was his line before the game started. And at that point, the Bucks were trailing, and he only had 7 completions. And my thought process was, we are getting the same pregame line, except now the game script is in our favor. With the Bucks trailing, they had the final possession of the first half, meaning it was going to be some passes, and he did complete like 2 passes there on that final drive. So he went into the second half with 9 completions, and unfortunately, just too many incompletions, including that one there to Emeka Ibuka on that second down. He finishes the game with exactly 19 completions, 19 of 34 passing, 277 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. And for Kirk Cousins, who loves playing against the Tampa Bay Bucks, 30 of 44 for 373 yards and 3 touchdowns.
You like that? Kirk Cousins. Why did we ever doubt him?
Yeah.
By the way, Mike Evans back. We didn't expect so many catches, so many long catches, 132 yards, only 6 catches.
Yeah, well, so many targets. Like and we, were we
12
duped?
targets, yeah.
Were we duped because they did tell us that, that they said that he was going to be on a snap count. He was going to be on a snap restriction, which is why in our same game parlay that we built, we were like, yeah, let's go under because he's going to be on a snap restriction.
Did we hit every other leg? We hit the Falcons. We hit the over.
We hit the over. We hit the Bijan Robinson. Bijan had 93 rushing yards and 82 receiving yards. I mean, this is free money going with the Bijan combo yardage.
Winning fantasy leagues across the world.
Because, the stat that we gave out on yesterday's show was that Bijan Robinson has accounted for 38% of the Falcons' yards this season. And we did the math. We said if the Falcons get 300 and what do we call it? We said
330, yeah.
We said 330 yards of offense, right? Is that what we said?
Yeah.
We said so. We said if the Falcons get 330 yards of offense, then Bijan's going to go over this because the math just has to add up. Well, last night the Falcons obviously had 476 yards of total offense, and yeah, Bijan had almost 200 yards by himself. So
he actually is crazy. 38% of 476 would have been 180.
Yeah.
He had 175. So he was right on pace. He was just chugging along, doing what he does.
So he actually finished with 38% of the scrimmage yards, or damn close to it,
plus or minus 0.5%. Yeah,
that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. And again, for those who missed yesterday's program or didn't read the newsletter yesterday, Bijan Robinson has accounted for 38% of the Falcons' scrimmage yards this season. That's the most by any single player since Christian McCaffrey with the Panthers in 2019. And so it was just a math equation, and the math added up. Like we said, the Falcons needed 330 yards. They got 476 yards, and Bijan went over this number. The other leg that we lost, though, was the Bucky Irving longest reception.
11-yard catch, not 12.
Over 11.5. It was the second play of the game, Mackenzie. Second play of the game. That was the only reception he had.
Can we get a measurement?
Literally, and you know what? He ran out of bounds after the contact, and I'm just like, I watched it. It was an easy 10 yards, but then once he got past the first down marker, the defender was there, and he kind of just hit the defender and went out of bounds. And I'm just like, my dude couldn't lower his head. He couldn't give me a truck stick or something. Couldn't juke to the inside. One more yard, dude. Instead of going out of bounds, you fall forward. Give me one extra yard. That was very disappointing. And then Baker goes over, so he snapped that streak of the under 200 yards passing. But it was a good performance here by everybody as far as your stats are concerned. Even like I said, Kyle Pitts. Woof, my goodness! You want to talk about winning fantasy matchups? Kyle Pitts, 11 catches,
Was he the
166 yards, and 3
best
touchdowns.
the best pick of that draft in 2021? I mean, Zach Wilson done, Justin Fields done, Trevor Lawrence, he's all right. He's next year we'll say he's done,
Well,
and obviously Trey Lance not working out.
Well, yes, no,
Kyle Pitts.
you're 100% right. Like
Low-key.
everyone, well, Jamar Chase is probably the best player in that top. The top
Was
even-
he fifth? All right, yeah.
He
So
was
you
fifth.
have to say top 4. You have to say
Yeah,
top
you have to
four.
say yes. You have to say Kyle Pitts was the best pick in that top 4. Yes,
That's crazy.
But like,
The bust himself.
yeah, but like, this is why everybody was so like confused when the Falcons hired Raheem Morris, which he's going to be out of a job. Like, I'm sorry, yeah, good win. Like, he's going to be out of a job. The Falcons need an offensive coach. Like, you have all of this offensive talent on your team. You cannot have a defensive-minded head coach. And like, finally, Kyle Pitts is emerging and breaking out this year. You drafted this kid, as you mentioned, in 2021, 4th overall, and no one has seen him, how dynamic he can be until this season. So now, is he unlocked now because of the offensive coordinator there, Zach Robinson? He came over from the Rams, and now he's unlocking Kyle Pitts. Maybe that's what's happening here. But the Falcons need an offensive-minded head coach. Hey, maybe Zach Robinson should be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. So that was a great game for Kyle Pitts last night. Also a great game, Mackenzie, for the Trench Report, because the Falcons and Bucks was identified as one of the closest matchups of the week. A virtual.
So you take the 4.5.
You take the 5.5. Yeah, I mean, yes.
Yeah.
You take as many points as you take the dog. Because if all you did was blindly take the underdog in our coin flip matchups, the games that we identify as just the very close Trench Report matchups, well, you're absolutely dominating now. It is now 9 outright wins for the underdog. So again, we started publishing the top 5 overall mismatches in week number 5. The top 3 closest matchups started being produced in week number 8. So in those weeks, since week 8, the underdogs are now 14-7-1 against the spread with 9 outright winners. What more could you ask for underdogs in the NFL?
So half the winners would be, or half the picks would be 25. How many underdogs are there? It seems like 11 would be like more than half the underdogs are winning.
What do you mean? Those
So
are
you said
only
there's-
underdogs in those games.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So 37 is all the underdogs.
So yes, so in the top 3 matchups since week 8, right, in all of those games, if you just took the points in all of those games, you are 14-7-1 against the spread with 9 winners straight up, with all those underdogs.
Okay, there was some other, just the straight up winners of all the Trench Report identified picks was 37-13.
That's 37-13. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
what I was
top
thinking.
5 since week number 5. But it's been what? This is the 8th week since week 8. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah. So this is the 8th
You
week.
can just get one money line underdog a week with the Trench Report.
It's just insane.
It's bet everyone.
It's insane. I mean, imagine doing like I guess if you did I bet if you did a round robin every week with the 3 money line underdogs on the closest matchups. Like there were I mean, yes, there's weeks where it goes 0-3. There's been weeks where it goes 2-1, and there's been weeks where it went 3-0. So, yeah, all it takes is 1-3-0 and woo, boy. Well, you're off to a 1-0 start now. Full Trench Report available for Better Day Insider and Premium members. And now new signups can get a free 3-day free, say that 10 times fast, Mackenzie, free 3-day trial. Go ahead, Phil.
Free day trial. That's
Free,
it, right?
free 3-day trial up on betterday.com. So click on the main page. You'll see all the pricing and stuff for Insider and Premium members. And you can unlock the Trench Report and all of the tools available for you up on betterday.com. Free 3-day trial. for you guys who are interested in checking it out. Okay, this is a Football Friday, so let's get to all of the NFL games. Before we get to NFL Week 15 Sunday, Mackenzie, with the Falcons beating the Bucs now, the Carolina Panthers are in first place in the NFC South.
But not in the hearts of Vegas, where there are still dogs.
That-
But just a little bit.
That's right. Up on FanDuel right now, the Bucs are still minus 135 to win the NFC South. Carolina plus 105.
They got 2 games remaining. Who you got?
I want them to split. I want this to come down to.
You think the Saints can win?
No.
I don't think that's possible.
I want this to come down to like tiebreakers and drama in the last week of the season. That's what I want it to come down to. So if they both split, like
So they're
Carolina
8-8 with 1 week to go. One team's gonna have a winning record. One team's gonna have a losing record.
Mhm.
One team's gonna have the division.
Boy, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I want that to happen.
I'm gonna take the Panthers. I'm gonna take the Panthers just to upset the apple cart.
Sure. I mean, if they beat the Saints this weekend, then they are ahead of the game. We'll talk about that game and the rest of this Week 15 Sunday slate. So let's get these games kicked off, including I got some pretty good trends. I'm sure you have as well, Mackenzie, on some of the matchups that we're going to see here on Sunday. Let's start with the Jacksonville Jaguars hosting the New York Jets, currently up on FanDuel right now. The Jags are 13.5-point favorites with a total of 41.5. And it's looking more and more like it's going to be Brady Cook at quarterback for the New York Jets, getting his first NFL start. How
Huge line.
How did the Jaguars not just like dominate this game, right?
That's what the market's telling us. This was 9.5 last week. It's now 13.5. And I think that's the appropriate move to go from Tyrod Taylor, who's having a decent season, which is a great season for a Jets quarterback with a 51 QBR. I think a 4-point move is probably light. If you can get it under 2 touchdowns, that's the way I'd look.
Yeah, this is a smash spot. So Brady Cook's a guy who, I mean, you want to talk about how many times like guys that are backup quarterbacks like get run in the NFL. You want to talk about how many times like third string quarterbacks get run in the NFL. Like this is a fourth string guy. Like this is this is a practice squad guy who was battling it out with Adrian Martinez, and then they eventually decide to go to Brady Cook and cut Adrian Martinez. Oh, by the way, the Jets brought back Adrian Martinez to their practice squad, and now it's the first time in 50 years that the Jets are starting an undrafted rookie at quarterback. Yeah.
Could he be their Tom Brady? Is this the moment
No.
where you could either quit being a Jets fan
No.
or you could begin the dynasty on board?
Boy, this week feels like there's just gonna be so many blowouts. Here's another smash spot: the Houston Texans, 9.5-point home favorites against the Arizona Cardinals. It feels like, again, I say it's going to be a blowout. Like, how do the Texans not dominate this game with that defense, with the way that they've played, with the way that they get after the quarterback against this Arizona team that's banged up? To me, it's just another dominant performance here from DeMeco Ryans' defense.
I think it is going to be a dominant defensive performance, but I don't think that necessarily covers the 10 points. Texans really bad offensively. Probably should have scored 10 against the Chiefs. Cardinals not the same kind of defense, but also the Texans kind of can take a deep breath. They are now 90% to make the playoffs after being monster underdogs every week before last week. They got over the mountain. They beat the defending AFC champs and the Chiefs. Still could win the division, plus 170, but I feel like they take a breath. I mean, this is a team that beat the Titans 16-13. I think they win this game 20-14, and they don't cover.
You said 20-14. I was going to say, I know it's expected to be low scoring, but would it surprise you if this game goes over? Like, the Cardinals have just played over games.
They have, especially later in the season. It seems like Jonathan Gannon's kind of just throwing spaghetti at the wall. It wouldn't shock me, no. I would lean under. I mean, I just don't see how the Cardinals score, like you said.
Yeah, the loss last week was just embarrassing. 45-17 to the Rams that was one of the uglier performances of the season. Let's move on to one of the first really interesting spreads of the week, although I agree with the spread. The Buffalo Bills, 1.5-point favorites at the New England Patriots up on FanDuel. Total of 49.5. Now, why is this interesting? Because, Mackenzie, we have a 10-win team as a home underdog.
Right.
Since the start of the 2021 season, a 10-win team as a home underdog in the regular season. 7 times, Mackenzie. What's the record? What do you think?
4-3.
1-6 straight up, 3-4 against the spread, and we have 2 of them here
What are the
this
chances
week.
there'd be not one but two frauds
Yes,
in the AFC?
with Denver and New England both home dogs, 1-6 straight up. I mean, that is really.
Do you have the over
really
under there in front
alarming. Yes, I believe it is the same thing. It's 3-4. So let me double check that as far as the totals in the games. But why do you think that the trend is telling us that the market is correct on these games?
of you? Yeah. Anytime there's a reason why a public would like a dog, but they're still a dog, it's usually a market advantage situation because people look up. We talk about the college basketball ranking. Hey, this is a better ranked team when they're home dogs. That's probably for a reason. And I think the Bills here, let's think about this. They were 7.5 point favorites at home, 7.5, 8.5 point favorites versus the Patriots. What has really changed then? I know the Patriots have won 10 in a row, but I mean, week by week, have they really impressed with close wins versus Cincinnati, versus Atlanta? Probably should have lost on that last drive, got a lucky call, or didn't get called for a penalty. I would look at the Bills here. I mean, look at strength of schedule. By far the worst in the league, the Patriots. Their average opponent, according to Neflo, is 3.5 points worse than an average team. So they're like facing the 22nd best team in the league every week. This week, I think they get found out.
You know, when the totals, by the way, are 3-4. So I was right. 3-4 to the so 4-3 to the under.
I thought there was an over. I thought there was an over trend here, and it does seem like both these teams get some points here.
You know what's interesting, though, is I'm looking at these games. Again, since the start of the 2021 season, you have 10 or more wins, and you are a home underdog regular season. You're 1-6 straight up. The one win came in last season, December 29th. The Vikings beat the Packers. You know what the line in that game was, Mackenzie?
-2.5.
A half. So I almost want to throw that out because I'm sure there might have been some books where the Vikings were the home favorite in that game, or it was a pick 'em. So it's 1-6. It really is 0-6 if you look at the straight up numbers.
Because I was thinking it's not only 10 wins, it's 10 consecutive wins for both the Broncos and the Patriots.
Oh my goodness! I didn't even look that up. Did you look that up?
Kind of a rare thing. So I just looked it up now. Yeah, 10 straight wins, and you're a home dog.
Yeah.
There's been three previous times, 1-2 straight up, 1-2 ATS, 3-0 to the over, going over by 17 points per game. So the Broncos, Packers, Patriots, and Bills both fit that.
Wow. Okay. All right. To me, it's fascinating. It's fascinating. I'm on the Bills here. I think they roll. And you know what else I love about this game is that it also fits something that I love playing in the NFL, which is when a divisional team loses as a favorite, and then they are favored again. They're favored again in the rematch. I love backing that team.
Makes a lot of sense.
And we have another game that will fit that coming up. So that's one that I really do like.
Hey, this is Steve Gorman, radio host, sports commentator, former drummer for the Black Crowes. The winter holidays are here, a time for festive celebrations, family gatherings, and ringing in the new year. Whether it's a holiday party, a night out with friends, or just relaxing by the fire with a few drinks, it's a season full of good cheer. But here's something else to add to your holiday plans, a safe and sober ride home. Just like in sports and music, always have a game plan. And the most important part of any plan is sticking to it. If you plan to drink, take that plan a step further. Call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or have a designated driver lined up before the night begins. Drinking and driving is a decision that can change your life and the lives of others forever. A DUI, a crash, an injury. The consequences are real and lasting. So please, for your sake and for everyone else on the road, make the smart choice. Get a sober ride home. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Kansas City Chiefs, 5.5 point favorites over the Chargers, total of 41.5. And if the Eagles were able to sack Justin Herbert 7 times
Yes.
in that last game, I think this Chiefs line has an absolute field day against Justin Herbert. Plus, he's got that hand injury. You know, it's certainly we're questioning if the short week, if he's going to be able to recover. But it's going to be like 15 degrees in Kansas City like this weekend. Like it's going to be cold. You know, the cold with the broken bones and you know, the surgically repaired hand. I just think it's a bad recipe for the Chargers going into Kansas City.
Completely agree. My favorite pick of the week will be Chargers team total under 17.5. So many things line up. One thing, the total's dropped 3 points, but it hasn't affected this bet at all, from 44.5 to 41.5. But the Chargers team total went from like 19.5 to 17.5, which essentially means nothing on your bet. So you're getting the effect of the weather coming in and people betting the under, but you're really not getting a worse line. And then it's what you talked about. The Chargers won last week, but their offense looked very, very porous. Their offensive line still struggling to protect Justin Herbert without Joe Walt, who's really been an average quarterback the last half of the season. And the Chiefs, even though they lost, had one of their best defensive performances of the season, especially their pass rush, which I think gets home here. In the frigid weather, maybe the Chiefs are down because their season's over, their franchise is over, whatever. Their defense, I think, holds this team under 20, which means they hold them to 17, which means we cash 17.5.
I like that a lot. I really do. The Eagles, 11.5 point favorites over the Raiders, total of 38.5. And it's looking more and more like Kenny Pickett will be the starter here for the Raiders, going up against his former team.
Revenge game.
In the Philadelphia Eagles. I know we kind of teased this earlier in the week, but do we dare think about taking the Raiders with the points with Kenny Pickett at quarterback?
The Trench Report must save us from such heresy, right? I mean, they got to be dominant, the Eagles do, on the Trench Report.
Is it dominant? Trench Report.
They have been worse of late, but last week they put up 7 sacks versus Herbert.
Yeah. This is the number 4 biggest mismatch of the week. The Eagles over the Raiders.
Yeah. So 11.5 points is maybe not justified, but you can see how metrics would get us there. The thing about the Eagles is once they lose, they tend to lose. They lost 7 out of 8 to end the season 2 years ago, and they were 8-2. Now they're 8-5.
Yeah.
They probably win this game, but I would not be looking to back them.
No, not at 11.5. The Bengals hosting the Ravens, a rematch of the Thanksgiving game where the Bengals had the return of Joe Burrow and upset Baltimore. Baltimore's a 2.5 point road favorite, and this would be, Mackenzie, the system like I talked about. You're backing a team that just lost as a favorite to a divisional opponent, and now they're favored again in the rematch. This is where I want to back these favorites.
They are favored, but it's close to a pick 'em. It's 2.5. I mean, they're not the biggest favorites, and I'm not. Should they be favored? I mean, since week 7, so it's Joe Burrow, but it's also before that. The Bengals have the 3rd best offense in the league and the 31st defense. Their defense has shown a pulse. I don't know. I feel like this Bengals team is underrated. I feel like they might be maybe like the 10th best team, maybe like the 8th best team in the AFC.
This is also an immediate rematch spot of playing the same team for the second time.
I mean, do you trust the Ravens offense? The trends do make sense that this team would be a bounce back spot for the Ravens. But do you trust Lamar Jackson right now to get the job done?
No, he's clearly not healthy. But going back, because there hasn't been that many games since 2021, it's only been 3 games. It's 2-1. So I went back to 2012. If you're playing the team the second time in 3 weeks, so 2 weeks ago you lost to this team, now you're playing them again, and you're the favorite in the second game, you're 8-3 straight up and against the spread.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And yes, it's the familiarity of playing the team. Because also here's the other thing.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. Derrick Henry had 10 carries for 60 yards in that game on Thanksgiving. The Bengals' run defense is so bad. Like looking back at that film, like Todd Monken's got to be kicking himself in the rear end, thinking like, why didn't I just run the ball 100 times? Like why did Derrick Henry get 10 carries instead of 20 carries in that game? I think it'll be different this time. And I also think it'll be different for the Ravens defense because they're not going to be surprised by Joe Burrow. coming back. Maybe in that first game they were like, yeah, it's Burrow's back, but it's his first game. He might be limited. And then it's like, oh, he's not limited. Like, he's Joe Burrow. Like, and this Bengals team is different. So I think, like, now you have some film on it, and I do think they rely on the run a little bit more. I just think this is a spot where history tells me I want to be on the Ravens here.
Fair enough.
Giants, 2.5-point home favorites against the Washington Commanders with a total of 46.5. No Jaden Daniels, so Marcus Mariota gets the start once again. And, of course, Zach Ertz done for the season after that sad injury that occurred in their last game. And can Jackson Dart and the Giants get a win here as home favorites?
I think so. I mean, you're not a Giants fan, you're a Jets fan, but you can put yourself in the shoes of a Giants fan. Are you excited because the Giants are probably going to win, or are you worried because the Giants probably win this game? I mean, the Commanders, no team is worse defensively the last 2 months. I feel like this is a spot for the Giants to get actually get one off the bye. But should they?
Giants aren't tanking. You got an interim coach that's trying to earn a job. You already know who your franchise quarterback is. If they get the number 1 overall pick, they're going to trade out of it. If they get the number 2 overall pick, they're going to trade out of it. Like, they don't care about the draft stock. So, Giants fans shouldn't care about the draft stock because it's like, it doesn't matter if the Giants pick 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Like, they're going to get an offensive lineman in the draft, which is going to help their team moving forward. But you're not drafting a quarterback, and teams that do need a quarterback are going to trade up for it. Right. So, and you're not drafting a skill position player because you have your skill position players. You have Malik Neighbors. You have Cam Scatterbo. You have Jackson Dart. Like, you're good. You got your defensive edge rush stud in Abdul Carter. Like, you're good. What do you need? You need an offensive tackle that you can get at 3, 4, 5.
You need an alarm clock in the training facility so we don't have these guys missing practice.
Yeah, you need a head coach that commands respect. That's what you need as well.
All of these metrics say these are even teams, like 25th and 26th in net EPA, 25th and 26th in fourth quarter winning percentage. I would think that the Giants are healthier and they're off a bye, so that 2-point home field advantage should maybe be 3. I like the Giants here.
Yep, me too. Let's move on. The Bears, 7.5-point home favorites against the Cleveland Browns. The Fighting Shedeur Sanders. Is this line too heavy, Mackenzie?
I think it's a trap game for the Bears.
Right?
I feel like the Bears,
with the
way defense is bad enough.
Too. Yeah.
That the Browns can get 20, and then it's just one Myles Garrett strip sack, one dumb Caleb Williams play. I kind of think this is I know the Browns have been semi-tanking, some people say, but I feel like they can silence those critics with one win here, which they might get.
This is a dangerous spot, I think, for the Bears. One that they shouldn't take lightly. 49ers, 12.5-point favorites up on FanDuel over the Titans, total of 44.5. Heavy line, but you have the 49ers coming off the bye. You would think this is a get-right spot. I mean, get right from what? They're already winning, but like
they've won 3 in a row. Yeah. But this is the kind of team that they win against, where the Titans are very one-dimensional. They were able to run 180 yards against the Browns, and I heard an interesting theory why they were successful against the Browns, and they almost are never successful. The Browns, they're quiet tanking maybe. They were going for Myles Garrett's sack record. They were going for the pass rush, even to the detriment of their overall defense. So the Titans ran for 180 yards, way better than expected, because the Browns were like, fine, win, lose, whatever, put up 29 points. We're going to have Shedeur Sanders throw for 350. We're going to have Myles Garrett get a couple sacks. So I think the Titans win, as phony as it was anyway, if you look at the stats, and as phony as their Cardinals win one, I think they're worse than a 2-win team. I think they're like a 0-win team, masquerading as a 2-win team. You look at the 49ers defense, excellent, like 10 points per game against bad quarterbacks, and then they get lit up against guys like Matthew Stafford. This is the former. Cam Ward, 32nd, 33rd, any metric you want to look at. I think we roll here. I think we cover 49ers by 21 points. You heard it here first.
I think this is a good spot for them as well. Rams, 5.5-point favorites over the Lions, total of 54.5. Does it surprise you how heavy this line is?
No, not really. I mean, the Rams have extended a little bit of distance between them and the next best team in a lot of the metrics that you look at, despite having a pretty hard strength of schedule. I feel that said, though, I think the Lions cover. I think the Lions on fast track here might actually win this game. Remember week 1 a couple years ago or last year? This was an overtime game. Obviously, a lot of history with Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff going after each other. I feel like this is a field goal game in the buzzer.
It does seem like it should be closer, and it seems like we're paying a tax on the Rams because of the blowout win from last week, and everybody already crowning Stafford the MVP and the Rams the representative for the Super Bowl. The Lions are still a scrappy team. They ain't going anywhere, you know.
Neflo currently has the Rams as the best team in the league by a little bit, plus 7.5. Number 3 is the Lions. The Lions are right there with the Packers, Bills, Seahawks are a little bit ahead of them. But yeah, I think the Lions have a little bit more roar in them.
Yeah, I would agree. I lean Lions here in this spot. The Saints host the Carolina Panthers, and the Panthers 2.5-point road favorites with a total of 40.5. I have to mention it because
you gotta mention it every time.
I have to mention it. The Carolina Panthers have lost 11 straight games as a favorite.
They were pick 'em against the Jets. It was like, are they going to be a favorite? And then the line moved, and they're like, all right, we can win this game now.
11 straight losses as a favorite, and that includes a game earlier this season where they were favored and they lost. That was against the New Orleans Saints. They lost 17-7. This would be that divisional rematch thing, right? Where you lose to the divisional opponent. Now you're a favorite in the second matchup. So I always want to back that team. Can I go against the 11 straight as a favorite trend?
It's the smallest of favorites.
I know.
Tyler Shuck was pretty good last week against the Buccaneers.
He was
24 points. He's been all right. I'm not running to the window. Do you think to bet the Panthers? Do you think they're helped by this Buccaneers loss on Thursday, or do you think?
I think the Panthers are motivated.
It's got to give them some kind of juice, right?
Yeah, I would think so. Although there will be juice in that building, though, after a win last week, fans might be excited to see Tyler Shuck and maybe thinking that, hey, they drafted this kid in the second round. They finally are seeing something from him. Maybe he's their quarterback of the future. The Packers, 2.5-point road favorites at the Denver Broncos, total of 42.5. And this is that system that we talked about earlier. The 10-win teams that are a home underdog, as I mentioned earlier, 1-6 straight up since the start of the 2021 season. And that one win was really a pick'em game. So I'm going to say 0-6 straight up for these 10-win teams as home dogs. What's interesting about this line, and Fezzik talked about this earlier this week, and gave out this bet, which is a tremendous bet. Bet the NFC to win the Super Bowl right now. And different sports books offer different odds. We're not talking about betting the Rams to win the Super Bowl. Not talking about betting an existing matchup. But different sports books offer you right now the opportunity to bet the Super Bowl. And you could bet the NFC on the money line over the AFC at about -130 to -140. You can also bet the NFC at like -2, I believe, or -2.5 might be at the most. This is the reason why that is a great bet to be made right now, is because of this game. Because the number 1 seed in the AFC right now is a 2.5-point home dog against the Green Bay Packers. What do you think that's saying that on a neutral, and we know Denver's got the best home field advantage in the NFL. On a neutral, we're talking about the Packers being a 5-point favorite over the Denver Broncos, right?
Wow. Yeah, that's what the numbers say.
And so think about that. If the number 1 seed in the AFC, 10-win Denver Broncos, are a 5-point dog compared to not even the number 1 seed in the NFC, like, what's the Super Bowl line going to be? If it's Rams Broncos, are the Rams a touchdown favorite over the Broncos in the Super Bowl?
I actually think this is a reason why I like the Bills over the Patriots, because if there's one team, and Vez mentioned this, that would be less than a field goal favorite versus the Rams, versus the Packers, versus the Seahawks, be the Bills. They're the last hope for the AFC. The Broncos, very fugazi. A lot of fourth quarter wins. Overtime win against Commanders does not look great. The Packers are the opposite. They've dropped all their close games. against bad teams. I really think Packers are more like an 11-win team. The Broncos are more like an 8-win team, and the market reflects it.
That being said, I kind of want to tease the Broncos up to 8.5.
I mean, neither of these teams really put their foot on the gas when they have a lead. I feel like
Exactly.
it's a closer affair. Yeah.
This game's being decided by a field goal. Are you kidding me? The Packers are winning this in a walk-off field goal. Like that's how this game's going to get played. You know, like
Yep.
Bo Nix is going to throw an interception with the game tied or with the Broncos having a 1-point lead in the fourth quarter. And then Green Bay, Jordan Love drives him right down the field. One deep pass to Christian Watson. All of a sudden, it's a game walk-off field goal, and the Packers win. Let's talk about the Seahawks. 13.5-point favorites over the Indianapolis Colts. And it looks like Riley Leonard will start, not Phillip Rivers, as Riley Leonard was a full participant in practice yesterday. I think it honestly would be criminal if Phillip Rivers started a game. Mackenzie.
What?
Yeah.
You don't want to. It'd be great. It'd be great drama. We saw Jeff Saturday go off the ESPN lot, grab a clipboard, and say, "I'm the coach," and got a win in his very first game. This would be the franchises that gave us that gives us a sequel with a quarterback off the street after 5 years of inactivity. It'd be fun. I'm 100% for it.
All right. So then what's next? Like, is Tom Brady the quarterback of the Raiders?
Me.
Like
They,
next
they
week?
call me and they say, you played quarterback once in 8th grade,
Like, literally.
recess. Come in here and see what you got. Like Billy Crystal played for the Mets or the
The
semi-pro
Yankees,
Mets.
spring training.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, at bat.
Who's a celebrity fan of the
I think
Colts? Is it Luke
Garth
Wilson?
Brooks got at bat for the Mets in spring training, I think, right? Was it Garth Brooks
I think
for the Mets?
It
Yeah.
sounds up his alley. What a
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Yeah, Garth Brooks did
So,
play.
I
for the
mean,
Mets.
you don't like fun? You're against fun, is what I'm hearing. Like, why would you not want Phillip Rivers? Unless
Because
you're a Colts fan.
the man's got too many kids, man. I want him to stay healthy, Mackenzie. Like,
He's got too much to lose.
yeah. Oh my goodness. But you know something? Like, he's got to get a nice check for being on the practice squad, right? So I guess that's like the Colts throwing him a bone. Man,
I mean,
if
they got to pay him for his Hall of Fame ineligibility.
I know if he suits up and he plays, oh my goodness, I can't even imagine it. I can't.
So
even.
someone was saying they're just preparing him for the real test, which is against the 49ers next week.
Stop it.
They get him in the building. They get him the playbook. Maybe he goes on a fast or a cleanse or something. So he's got some weight to lose.
Think about like what this means though. Like, think about like the precedent.
Tom Brady is licking his chops right now.
Sure, but think about the precedent that it would send. Like, there's so many quarterbacks out there that, like, you're telling me that like you can't call up one of these, practice.
Where's Colin
squad
Kaepernick?
Forget about Kaepernick already. He's been out of the league for 20 years. Like
So is Phillip Rivers.
yeah, sure. No, Phillip Rivers actually played like 5 years ago, Mackenzie, okay? All right.
I know.
And they were a
Where's
playoff
Tim
team.
Tebow?
Yeah, seriously. But like you're telling me like the Jets just signed the kid Adrian Martinez back to be on their practice squad. You're telling me like the Colts couldn't sign somebody like that and just like run a stupid offense where
Is
like, the
Nick
quarterback-
Mullins in the league?
Like the quarterback
any of
runs
these
the
guys
ball a
wants-
bunch of times.
I'm
You
sure wants to
literally
play.
called up a guy who's
Joe
a
Flacco's not doing anything this Sunday.
You called up a guy who's a semifinalist for the Hall of Fame this year, and like you're like that's how stupid is this?
It seems publicity driven, just like Jeff Saturday was. It's like
Yeah.
season's over. Let's have some fun.
So dumb. Cowboys host the Minnesota Vikings. Dallas a 6.5-point favorite. This is Sunday Night Football, and the total is 47.5. Dallas has looked a lot better. It looks like everyone will play in this game. I know CD Lamb was a little bit banged up, but it looks like everybody's going to be good. Can the Cowboys make a push here, Mackenzie? Do you like them laying the points here in this spot?
I do, and they didn't have a bad game against the Lions in a tough Thursday night spot on the road. 1 or 2 bounces, and that's not a 14-point loss. They could have actually snuck that game out. And the Vikings, I think we put a major asterisk next to any offensive performance against the Commanders, who are giving up historic numbers, who lost their quarterback, who really didn't provide any kind of fight. So I think J.J. McCarthy might be riding high, his best game of his career, 31 points. I don't think anything more than a half-grade upgrade for the Vikings would be appropriate. And the market was 7.5 before this week, so I think through the key number of 7, I still think we got value on the Cowboys.
Yeah, I like Dallas in this spot a lot, actually. Not a fan of J.J. McCarthy. Monday Night Football, we will break that down coming up on Monday's episode, and by then we might know a little bit more about the status of T.J. Watt, who was in the hospital after having his lung examined. He felt some discomfort during practice and was taken to the hospital to receive some treatment. I know everyone's like, well, a guy's in the hospital getting his lung taken care of. There's no way he's playing. This is T.J. Watt, okay? If anybody's going to play after getting maybe fluid drained from their lungs or whatever, it's going to be TJ Watt, and the game's on Monday. So we'll find out more throughout the weekend. But obviously his health is the number one thing that's most important for him moving forward. Once again, the full Trench Report is available for Better Day Insider and Premium members, as well as Steve Fezzik's Power Ratings, which you can go and you can use the Power Ratings to kind of compare the spreads and see if there's value based on Pro Better Steve Fezzik's Power Ratings here in the NFL. That is also available for Better Day Insider and Premium members. And everybody right now gets a free 3-day trial. If you go sign up, new members will get a free 3-day trial. Check us out. See if you like us, whether you want to try out the premium level, get some live bets, or just become a Better Day Insider and get access to everything that we provide up on the website. Again, free 3-day trial for new members up on betterday.com. Our live Q&A for premium members with handicapper Kyle Hunter takes place at 2 o'clock Eastern time this afternoon. Tomorrow, we will release the Props Pod with Chris Dell, the mad journalist from Betting Predators, and the prop sheet will be sent out on Sunday morning to get you ready for NFL Week 15 Sunday action. For Mackenzie Rivers, I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.
Happy holidays. Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a happy holiday. If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.